Welcome everyone to Trailer to Film. This is where I take scenes from the trailer and I talk about it. That's it. And today we are going to be talking about Joker. Keep in mind, I have long vents in between opinions about the film. I'm putting my opinion out there because I have a lot to say. I hope you're patient with me. In the world and time that we live in, we normally get origins, continuations, and final chapters of stories, and we have one doozy of a film that has already given us a divided response. And I'm gonna be honest with you, as I normally am to you wonderful guys and gals out there. There's not a single scene I could pick out from this trailer without spoiling something. To the unknown void of social media, of whomever I reach out to, I don't know if you do or don't want to know something. So I could say, oh yeah, that scene had a lot more going on with it. It was great, or it was this, it was that. And oh, by the way, watch out for this thing. And that would be most of my review. You get it already. Hell, if the trailers didn't interest you, I would have to say almost the same thing. I really wanted to see this movie because it was an origin story on the Joker. That's enough to interest me. It's what they don't show you in this film that really makes the film stick with you. The trailer just kind of played out the blueprints. So let's talk about Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, or shall we say, Arthur. That was a great scene. But nowhere near what I thought it was going to be about. But Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur, soon to be Joker, and when he is Joker, he's great in this film. From the physicality, when you see him all bone almost, like he's just. A scene where he's trying to open up his shoe and you can hear the rubber stretching and he's straining to get it open. Just that scene alone, there was a guy next to me. The moment it pops up, he's like, ooh. And it's with the everything that you had seen thus far in the story, you just kind of realize he's going the distance with this. But even from the physicality to the laugh, to even to the tweaks in his voice, he truly makes it his own, and there is no effort on his part to try and avoid the performances around him, the ones that were done before him. He literally makes it his own. I would go as far as to say that the music in this film really complements the film in so many ways. It matches the performance Joaquin Phoenix gives. He goes up there for top performances as the Joker, and Jesus Christ. Okay, so this leads me to my first criticism I want to address. A criticism being made that really gets under my skin, and that is the outrage. Another actor is playing another iconic role that was already done well the first time. We are so ready to axe the next adaptation that comes about because we enjoyed the last one. Heath Ledger did an excellent job. He raised the bar high. I mean, high. But do you remember the outrage and the doubts when he was casted as the Joker for The Dark Knight? How many people swore by Jack Nicholson and found it folly to even try? And now, today, through all the performances, animated or live, we have a conglomerated renditions put together showing us the different styles, themes, and representation of what the Joker did. Multifaceted labeling to show you the eclectic versions of what the Joker can be. But instead, my God, you're messing with the canon, you're messing with everything. Heath Ledger did it better. Oh my God, just leave it alone. We don't need an origin story. Stop it. Just stop it. This is a tricky argument to make. It's already bad enough as it is. Mostly people are already avoiding the new rendition because they don't want to see an origin story. And I mean, I get it. The movie is telling a story about a character, the most infamous characters in comic book history, the Joker, and you're upset that he has an origin story full of depression, sadness, illness, and tragedy amongst 100 more things.
and you don't like the fact that it's being depicted.
I get that we like the Joker being an enigma all this time, with not much of a past. It makes it harder to relate to, so you're sort of along for the ride. Our detachment over the character was our bliss. But now we have situations to the character. Suddenly, it's a debatable aspect to depict. The Joker is a mentally unstable individual who took the wrong path. And you and I, we all live in a world where everything changes and adapts. There's always a new take, a new idea, a new way to presenting itself. Doesn't mean you always have to be along for the ride or get behind it. But we are seriously judging a new performance each and every single time, and this one is a folly argument. Anyway, I told you there were going to be mini vents in between my points to make about the film. Let's move forward.
What's so funny? Freak!
This was a story beat I was calling out of my head for being predictable. And this was before I knew he had a condition that brings about uncontrollable laughter. But I thought this scene would be his breaking point. Now, this was my prediction, and I can tell you this wholeheartedly because this was my thoughts thinking of how this was going to go down. Arthur was beaten down one too many times by this point. Something was going on in the tram car that just made him realize his fight for happiness was folly. Probably at this point, he finds out his mom dies and she was all he had left. These hecklers come about and just deliver the tipping point for him. That is how I thought this scene was going to play out. I seriously thought I had it down like a science. Nope. Only one of those elements was true. Which one was it? I'm not telling you. The first 10 minutes of this film, I seriously just wanted to cry. Not because I sympathized with Arthur, not because I saw his plight and agreed with him. Joaquin Phoenix he captured a very raw performance for us and translated it so well that everything came together. I felt what they were trying to do. I felt sad because I knew where this was eventually going to go. In ways I didn't want it to, because when someone is beaten down so much, it only takes time before they crack, and you never want anyone to give up. I relished a great deal of this film, but it's complicated in ways that I truly think sparks the debate. You will either love or hate this film. That many more will be just alright with it. I seriously enjoyed this because the looking glass provided to see what caused this man to become what we know he will become was just downright extraordinary. But they just don't assume that you know where he's going. They break it down, introducing all its story beats. And you watch how it all comes together. The approach can easily be seen as pandering and trite. I enjoyed the breakdown so much that I was alright with how simple it was at points. This was a very personal film for Arthur Fleck, with the outside world forcing its way through him. It all comes together by the end, and it just made sense by the end. Honestly, guys and gals, putting my 2 cents in about the violence depicted in this film and what was prejudged beforehand is stupid. I have an opinion, yes, but I don't want to seem like I'm reaching out to make people think that I have something better to say. I don't even know if any people want to hear me out. But that's not going to stop me. I just don't want to come across as holier than thou, pretentious, or thinking that my opinion will earn me any points for people to notice me. I have no intentions of talking about the things I know nothing of or thinking I know how everyone feels. But I will say this. How we embrace storytelling is truly a fickle thing. We will take an acclaimed show like Breaking Bad, a man who cooks meth as a profession to save his family from financial ruin, watch him turn into a villain throughout its 5-season run, and we hail it for its writing, style, material, everything. We are okay with it, knowing full well the show itself could, and I say that heavily, could condone the idea of meth making to all the youngsters and even older out there to start themselves. But I haven't seen much of any worry anywhere. Logan! Jesus Christ. Let's talk about Logan as an example. This movie is more violent, but similar in dark tone, as it too is a superhero villain type story. But Logan was praised for its emotional depth and departure from traditional superhero films. Departure from traditional superhero films. Departure. You make a film the same way as Logan, telling its own story on this rise up a villain, and you treat the Joker like it's a red-headed, ugly stepchild. Somehow this movie drew in the short straw and received negative attention because it wanted to talk about mental illness, showing you the ramifications to how it can affect others just based off how we treat one another. Joker departed from traditional films even in the villain sense because it didn't apologize for what it was, only showing you one side of the story. How messed up everything was for Arthur. It doesn't embrace it by saying, it's great to kill the people who made fun of you. You're horrified when these things happen. Trust me, you will watch it and not laugh because those moments are intentionally brutal and unfunny. If you cannot pass these points that I am making, then allow me to make one more. The critical response to Us. That movie had a lot to say, all the same as Joker did. But have you read the response to Us? So many people praised the material in that film that had a lot to do with classism and marginalization. People trapped in the means of which they cannot get out of the position they were placed in or born in, and they have to fight their way out. One critic pointed out, Monica Costello of RogerEbert.com, said that this film, she believes, is a thrilling exploration of the past and oppression this country is still too afraid to bring up. Peele, the director of Us, wants us to talk, give us the material to think and feel our way out through some of darker sides of the human condition. Wow. Wow. If only the Joker had a critic of unbelievable stature that had something profound to say about that towards the Joker. Joker brings up some dark and deep-seated issues and gives you something to think about all the same. And critics go apeshit because violence and illness and, oh my god, prejudging 1 month early to boot. Mental illness is not a joke. It never has been. Joker just showed us a story where the main character suffers from it. This allows us to recognize the uncomfortable situation that we go through all the time when we meet that one person who we don't know is not all, we don't know if they're there or not. Or you don't know what kind of struggles they have every day. That is my take on the themes and responses to Joker. This film was extremely well done. It's not a movie for everyone, I'll give you that. It had disturbing content that works very well within this movie that should give you enough for a story to be told. Joker is a damn good film that is brutal by the end. It took a direction that I didn't expect for one particular story element, and my jaw dropped. I turned to this guy, same guy who did win, and I looked at him and I went, of all the stories to make for origin points, this is, and then he finishes me and says, best. And it was true. That was probably one of the best origin points I had seen after many different origin points in stories. For that, I loved Joker, but it's complicated why I love it, and I would own it on Blu-ray. Alright, so Joker, what did you think of it? I'd love to talk with you about it. If you have a second, of course. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Be kind, be reasonable, and let's talk. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're new here, I do movie and TV show reviews. Check out those if you're interested. Be sure to turn on those notifications so you don't miss anything. Check out that description box for more, and I hope you have a fantastic and wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, and